0-5 in the game. Rich Rod wasn't given the opportunity to make it 0-4. No coach in the history of the Ohio State-Michigan game has ever lost his first 5 tries. Cooper tied his 5th try and then lost the next year. If Jim Harbaugh can't find a way to win, he would be the first coach to go 0-5 in this rivalry. Now, Harbaugh's got a lot of similarities to Cooper. You know, he's 1 win away from his 4th 10-win season while at Michigan. 1 win away. Sort of the defining phrase for the Harbaugh era so far.
Ohio State can win it. 6 here.
Samuel turns it outside line. Touchdown, Buckeyes! They knock off their arch rival.
I've been a part of some really close ones lately.
We are watching a Michigan implosion.
I'm pissed off. Like, I'm really pissed off.
It's something we've been thinking about, for a whole 12 months now.
Just being able to hide that all season. We finally here. We had the chance to, to attack this week now.
We live this year round, and that our guys understand what it means to play in this rivalry.
I mean, you could have a great season, go undefeated, and lose to the team of North, and it's a bad season.
It's the biggest game of the year. Looking forward to every possible thing about it.
I think this team's more tested than any other team I've been on. I don't think there's anything that can really phase us anymore.
Our last time at the Big House with one of the best games in college football and be able to put our name in history.
Well, that's 15 years against Ohio State. Michigan has lost 14 of them, 9 by at least 11. They've been dominated in terms of being outgained. The turnover margin has been terrible. Michigan last year got blown out when it was expected to win. Harbaugh had T-shirts made that said co-Big Ten East champions and had the score of the game plastered on it. Is there anything that makes you believe they get over the hump today and knock off Ohio State?
Yeah. There is. There's hope for, if I'm a Michigan fan, I've seen a lot of things over the last several weeks that I really, really like. First of all, Don Brown has evolved and changed from a year ago. Last year, they were man-to-man, and you know what? Make no bones about it. We're playing man-to-man consistently, and we're going to do it better than you do it, Kirk. And they got beat up because of
396 and 6.
396 and 62 points.
Yeah.
That stings, okay? So I think when you've watched them against Notre Dame this season, against Penn State this season, they do a better job of staying with 2 safeties. They do a better job of disguising and bringing the safety down after the snap. I think they'll be more ready for Ohio State's attack. By the way, we talk a lot about Chase Young, and we should talk about Chase Young. Josh Uche
there you go.
is a man-child. If you watch him, number 6, rush the passer, he's one of the best in the country, maybe second best in the country. So watch for number 6 today against Ohio State.
6 and 18, Kwity Paye, and they do a good job of kind of using games up front, twists. They don't always have to blitz now. They're just getting pressure with their forward. Hutchinson has been really coming on. I can't wait to see Don Brown against Ryan Day because of the way it went last year. But if I'm a Michigan fan, you got to be looking at Shea Patterson. He's been different these last 4.5 games, playing with a lot of confidence, stretching defenses horizontally with a lot of the quick throws to the receivers, Ronnie Bell getting in space, mixing in the run game, and then taking shots to Nico Collins and Donovan Peoples-Jones. If they can get that going to the outside, that can help them find their rhythm. Yeah. Problem is, this is the best defense that they have faced since the Wisconsin game going way back early in the year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I look at this game as Ryan Day versus Don Brown Part 2. I mean, I know Coach Harbaugh took the L, but that was just the matchup last year when Ryan Day was the OC, and he came out there running a lot of crossing routes and just obliterated Michigan's defense. Don Brown, by the time he made the adjustment, Ohio State had built a too big of a lead, and Michigan couldn't come back. I think this is part 2. Even though Ryan Day is the OC, the head coach, now he's really evolved this offense. He's changed his offense. They're very run-heavy, a lot of outside zone. I got to see what type of adjustments Don Brown is going to make to try to counter what Ryan Day brings to the field.
There's always a lot of emotion in this game, but Don Brown had Greg Madison out Washington with him on the staff last year with Michigan. Now they're on the other side of it with Ohio State.
I can't believe they let those guys into the stadium. Yeah. Greg Madison.
That's one of the things we'll be watching. Much more coming up on the Ohio State-Michigan game. And we have some news that just came to College Game Day a little while ago we want to share with you. Former Buckeye star Terrelle Pryor is in critical condition after being stabbed in the early morning hours. A source tells Adam Schefter that Pryor underwent surgery for chest wounds after being stabbed. Police do have a woman in custody in relation to that stabbing. Her relationship with Pryor is unknown at this time, and certainly our best wishes to Terrelle and his family, and hopeful that he'll be able to recover from this. Again, the former Buckeye terrific quarterback Terrelle Pryor dealing with some injuries suffered in a stabbing in the Pittsburgh.
Man, a great
scene of signs back there. They were having snowball fights when I got here about 5:15 in the dark.
This reminds me of the last time we did a game day for PJ Flex team.
Oh, yeah.
Up in Western Michigan, remember?
Yeah. Gino's glasses got all fogged up.
Absolutely.
Look how good it is in Minneapolis. They didn't know what to write. But it's the holiday season.
There you go.
I love that.
I love that movie.
Oh, every year.
Day.
Every year.
For sure. Oh, look at that. Ouch. UW's only axe. Well, somebody just got a free can of money free, I guess.
Yeah.
Then, well, there you go. If you can't afford Disney Plus, you just got a big problem.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
That's pretty clever.
I love this one. How about the artwork here?
Come on, Chuck.
PJ Flex.
Yes.
It's a good sign. And I imagine there are several people who feel that way.
I think some people already had a few.
There's the road. I see a sign behind me. I don't know if we have it. It says Paul Chris eats cheese whiz.
Oh, that's good.
They value their cheese in Wisconsin. Last time Minnesota, the action consecutive years, Paul Bunyan was still alive. So you got a few Wisconsin people out there. What a word play. Hometown of Prince.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life. Called axe.
Yes, sir.
Illinois is not. You know what? I'm telling you, it is now much better. Hey, Casey O'Brien, we're going to send out our best to Casey, the holder that we did a story on earlier this year, a 4-time cancer survivor, to go back into the hospital this week for some surgery. He's a great young man. We've been so impressed with him, and we're hoping for the very best for him. And coming up soon,
his coach,
PJ Flex.
Oh, okay. All right, coach.
We'll roll the boat. Listen to the reception.
That's awesome.
Rolling a boat.
Old Crimson's down in the middle here for the 240th consecutive game day side appearance. And another rough apple cup for Old Crimson. Washington State. How about Jacob Eason? Lost his headgear.
Rivalry game. We don't need any headgears.
No,
just keep playing,
stinking
right?
helmet. You kidding me?
They had Washington State build that lead early. Eason was throwing the ball. He had some throws that kept them in this game and eventually gave them the lead.
7th straight year that the Apple Cup goes to the Huskies, and decisively, and Mike Leach was a little testy.
You know, and you run your mouth in your little column and stuff like some sanctimonious troll, and where, you know, you've never been fair or even-handed with us, so I really don't care what you think. Okay, go ahead, because you're going to write some nasty stuff anyway, like you always do. And I don't know which coug way back when did something that offended you. And I really don't care about that either. But you can live your little meager life in your little hole and write nasty things. And if that makes you feel even, you go right ahead. Okay, next.
I have a question over here. Who's next after that? You know, that sounded like you sometimes at a press conference. No way.
A little angry.
That happens. I get it.
Right.
And you lose 7 in a row to your rival.
Yeah.
Mike Leach has to be better than that.
Yeah,
you can't get personal. You can be mad if you want to. That was way too personal, way over the line with the reporter John Blanchett. So. See what's coming. Look at this giant axe.
Wow.
What are they up to? They're just passing it up.
They're just passing it around. You know what? That's what they did. The real axe here, it hadn't been here in 15 years. They rented that thing out for weddings. People took it out.
Went around the state.
Yeah, it's a big tour around the state.
It's like winning the Stanley Cup, it just travels around.
They thought they were rubbing it in Wisconsin's face, and PJ said, they haven't seen it. It's like a long-lost relative. They don't ever see the axe.
Right.
Back to the Pac-12 now. The rumble in the Rockies, Colorado, and Utah. Utah has to win if it wants to get down there and make it into the Pac-12 championship game. If the Utes were to stumble and fall, then you look at this and USC would be in the title game.
Yeah. Mel Tucker's done a good job with Colorado. They've been able to get to a position of getting into the postseason. But Utah, a lot of people don't see Utah. I mean, the reason it's easy to say, Utah's not any good, nobody watches their games. It's hard to find them late at night. It's a real team. They are focused, not looking ahead to the Pac-12 championship. Offense and defense, they take care of business today.
Wait. Utah's offense is nationally ranked in all the categories. In fact, they've absorbed 30 points or more in 9 straight games. And it's the first time in 10 years they've done that. Now listen to this. This week,
okay,
Utah's a complete and well-balanced football team.
Yeah.
That's my story. I'm still good this week.
And they haven't lost on Saturday.
He made that point. Yeah, that's true. Tell you what, I think Utah will win this game. They are a very balanced team, but Mel Tucker comes from the SEC. He's a very defensive-minded coach. He's going to try to make Utah one-dimensional. He's going to load the box, try to stop the Pac-12's leading rusher, Zach Moss, and make Tyler Huntley beat him with his arm. I think Colorado's going to come out fired up. They just upset Washington a week ago. They're going to be fired up for this game, but Utah will win a close one.
I like Utah big. Bear, what do you think of that game? I know you got another one on the board. What do you think of that Utah game?
I think Utah will. I mean, last year was a physical domination of that game. I think the physicality of Utah up front, control in the trenches, easy
by
win.
Enough?
Big one?
By enough, yes.
Okay.
By enough, okay.
What about Fresno State?
I don't get why the line move on this. San Jose State opened up as a favorite. Now Fresno's favored. Look, Fresno lost as a double-digit favorite to Nevada. This is not the team that Tedford has had the last couple of years that have been so good. San Jose, this is a massive improvement for them. 1 win last year, 2 wins the year before. They win today, they can get to 5. They nearly beat Boise. They nearly beat Hawaii, the 2 teams that are playing for the Mountain West title. Josh Love is a legit quarterback. I think they overcome the turnover problems they had last week. I think they win the game on the field today.
You ever seen anybody on rivalry weekend get excited for Fresno and San Jose State? Like Nobody gets excited for Fresno and San Jose State. Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
The Axe. No. We're talking about San Jose.
This guy's got problems.
That's because he's trying to help people make some money.
There we go.
The passion.
This is what rivalry's about. Paul Christ apparently doesn't like cheese.
That's unacceptable.
House divided.
No, it's not.
Big axes.
The axe made it.
Rivalries, all of these things that can bring grown men to tears over an old oaken bucket. It makes them brawl over axes and wooden pigs and games that they call the Civil War. There are cups that belong to governors and commonwealths. All of these things that just get down to the very soul. It's asserting your school's academic prowess and moral superiority. And those rivalry-defining moments are etched in your heart and your soul by the voices of the programs.
Sipper rolls out to the right, pitches off to Taylor, and Taylor's to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown, Billy Taylor! Old man Euchre's been broadcasting for 27 years. I have never seen anything like this.
Bobo going to take it and look and throw it in the corner, and a touchdown! Oh my God, a touchdown in the corner! Our hearts that was torn out and bleeding, we picked it up and we stuck it back inside. I can't believe this.
He off it, now tries a roll-off kick, is blocked, it's loose in the end zone, still loose, the Badgers cover it up, touchdown Wisconsin, there it is!
Fields under center. Drops back to pass. Pumps. Throws it toward the far corner in the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown, Cowboys! And let the party begin, folks!
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball for Davis from the end zone. To Bobo! Oh! Washington State!
There is the snap. The kick. It has shifted. It's good! It's good! Van Tippett has kicked a 52-yard field goal. And the state of Alabama is crimson.
That call came 24 years ago.